Hi, today I'm going to show you two things. One, how to create dodging and burn layers, and two, how to create an action for it, because it can be a little bit on the tedious side. Now, the first thing that we need to do to create a dodge and burn layers is we need to get ourselves a new layer. So I'm going to click on new layer. This layer is transparent. I'm going to click on edit, fill, and I'm going to make sure that it is set to 50% grey and click OK. First thing we need to do then is click on the where it says normal, which is a blending mode, and change the blending mode to soft light. I'm then going to click on burn, at the name I should say, and change it to burn. I'm going to duplicate that layer and I'm going to call that layer dodge. I'm then going to highlight both layers, use a solid little folder at the bottom, make it into a group and call that group dodge and burn. And you can see it's going to be quite tedious to actually set this up. Now I'm going to click on my burn layer, and the first thing I need to do is I need to be using my brush tool. So click on the brush tool or hit the shortcut B to make sure that your foreground and background colour are black and white. If they happen to be different colours, click on the D key for the default, and if they happen to be the wrong way around, white and black, press on the X key, which will toggle between them, and we want a black brush. The next thing is we need a hardness of 0% and a brush of about 100 megapixels. That is not vital because you're going to be changing that anyway. You then need to be going to your opacity and putting the opacity at about 15%, 15-20%. You might be changing that throughout the procedure. Okay, so now let's go and use the burn and dodge and burn tools. Burn first of all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the brush. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and I'm going to go down the shadow areas of the tree with my brush tool, and we're just heightening the shadows a little bit here, give them a little bit more depth. Okay, and for this one I'm going to go quite a bit, and I'm going to go down it again because this is in the background and we want it to look as if it's going away into the background. And all the layers of the trees are different, and I'm just going to put some more little highlighty areas. We're just trying to make some definition in the shadow so that things recede if they're dark and come forward if they're bright, giving the appearance of a bit more 3D. And down into the water, down here we have some lines, and here we have lines, and here we've got a nice long line, a couple more things here. So there's some of our burning done, and if we looking at it now, you sort of think, oh, you haven't done anything, but if we switch on and off, you can see that we have actually affected things, but in a very subtle way. So let's now go to the dodge tool. Click the X key to put the brush to white, and then we're going to paint on the trees, on the light side of the trees where the sun is coming, and we're going to paint those. And this is going to make them appear just a little bit rounded, just so that everything isn't quite so flat and 2D. We're going to give some subtle impression of 3D. And we're going to do this throughout the picture, wherever we want any of these subtle lights putting. Okay, we'll just go down here and give some in the water, and again some in the water, and just carrying on round, taking great care of where you put them, but being very careful and very subtle. Okay, I'm just going to go over this one again. Right, let's have a look now. And there is the dodging. So let's look at them both together, the dodging and burning. And you can see that already we have what look like more 3D in our trees. Now, that's what we're aiming for, to create this dodge and burn route quickly. So I'm just going to grab hold of this and I'm going to put the whole thing in the bin. Now, just to make sure that things are actually recording and working, I'm actually going to change some of the items in the toolbar. I'm going to put this one to the clone tool. I'm going to change the colour on the foreground and the background to, it doesn't matter which, but I'm going to change it to red, and I'm going to change the background one to blue. Okay, so they're definitely red and blue, and it's on the clone stamp. The brush size, as you can see, is 17. Now, the hardness is at 27. We cannot change the hardness on the fly with an action. We have to do it ourselves. Okay, so let's just leave that. We will do it, but it won't take it. And the opacity, we cannot change opacity either. So, we're all set up, and we've changed our things so that we can actually see them working. So, we now go to the Actions palette. Now, usually it's up here on the right hand side, as you can see, but if not, go to Window and then click Actions and it will appear. So here we go, clicking the window. Now we have to set up, we have to put the actions somewhere. So I'm going to make a folder and I'm going to call this Test Actions. Now, test actions can hold any number of actions. Here we have some of mine in a folder called Sue's Work, and we have 2 actions in it. This DIY set has only got 1 action in it, and the one that we have at the moment, Test Actions, has got no actions in it. So I'm going to click on the new action tool, and you can see new action, and I'm going to call this one Dodge and Burn, and I'm going to put it into Test Actions. If we wanted to put it into somewhere else, we could easily go and choose one. Click Record. Now, from this point on, anything that we do will be recorded by the action in Photoshop. So, first job was to go and create a new layer. That new layer we had to edit, fill, and we were going to fill it with 50% grey and click OK. We were then changing the blend mode from normal to soft light. We then renamed this layer Burn. We right clicked, we duplicate the layer and call this layer Dodge. Highlight both layers, click on the solid folder and make a group. We then click on this and call it Dodge and Burn. Open the group, click on the Burn tool, the Burn layer I should say. Click on the brush, and to make the red and blue back to their default black and white, we click on D. We go up to the brush and we set that at whatever we want. Let's say 75. And we've got the hardness and we can set that to 0, but we still have to manage that ourselves. As you can see, I can set the opacity to say 20. Hit enter, and that's it. Click on stop, the stop button to stop the recording. Okay, that's your action has now been created. So let's just get rid of this. Let's put some of these back to how they were. Let's make that very small. Let's put this up to here. Let's oops a daisy. Let's put it back to the clone tool, back to red, background back to blue, and doing this we should be able to see that everything gets changed by the action. So nothing at the moment is how we want it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run the action just to see if it's working okay. I've put all the settings, as you can see, back to how they were. So let's just click on there and run the action. And there you can see it's created a dodge and a burn layer. Now, what if you forget what to do with regards to your opacity and your hardness? Or you you want to create one and give it to somebody else. Okay, thing to do is open up your action, and if the thing that you need to alter or give somebody a warning about is in the middle, then you would press it in the middle. Say you needed to stop because you needed to put a size of something in. In this case we don't, we just want a dialogue reminding people what to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go down to the bottom action, the bottom part of the action, click on there, the three little lines or so at the top, click on there, and I'm going to insert a stop. Here we have a dialogue. So I'm going to put set hardness to 0%, set opacity to 15-20%, and change as required during editing. Okay, click on the Allow Continue button, then click OK. Now we know that this works already, so I don't really need to change anything. I've deleted the layers from the bottom, so I'm just going to click on here again, and this will show you what happens now. Click on it again, it runs through, and you get a message. It says set hardness to 0%, set opacity to 15-20%, and changes required during the editing. And you're going to click continue, and it finishes. It just gives you a little reminder of what to do. You then carry on and you do your dodging and burning as usual, and there we go. Now you can create actions for all sorts of things, and then you can use them, and because as you can see it took quite a while to actually set this up, but once it's been set up you can use this action over and over again on many photographs, and it only takes seconds to do. Okay, so I hope that's helped. If you have any questions, please use the contact me page and I will answer anything or clarify anything that you're not sure of. Thank you very much indeed. Bye bye.